Are we centered?
Yeah.
There, now we are. Don't I'm too close.
Here, how's that?
How's that? How's this? How's that?
Sunsets like a tangerine. Let's find a road we've never seen. Don't waste another mile or a minute not kissing me.
Cheers, hi babe.
Cheers, I love you.
I love you too. Oh, this is a little bit different, huh? Yeah, we're just gonna have some wine and conversation tonight. Tonight.
It's at night, so you can't watch this till night. If you're watching it in the morning or in the daytime, stop.
Stop and go
Wait
back
till
and
it's-
watch it. Yep.
Wait till it's dark 30.
Yep, so you can have a conversation with us and a glass of wine.
We'll wait. Go turn it off. Okay.
Hi, welcome back. So tonight's conversation is going to be about when we were new to RVing.
It was pretty crazy because we just jumped in, feet first, head
Yes.
first, belly flopped into it.
Yep, Lori had this crazy idea. Let's go RV full time, even though we never RV'd before.
And the biggest thing I had ever pulled was a U-Haul trailer.
Yeah.
So
So on the way home,
after picking up the rig and the truck, because it came as a package deal.
Yep. Yeah.
So on the way home,
So as a matter of fact, Tom didn't even want to pull it off the lot because it was a tiny lot, and they were like, "Here you go, here's your keys," and we're like,
keys.
Tom's like,
Take it
get
out
me
to the road.
Get me to the street. So we lived down this narrow, winding road, and he goes to make the left-hand turn onto our street from where we bought the rig, because it wasn't very far where we bought it from.
And it wasn't like a four-way stop or a T intersection. It was more like a V intersection, to where you come down and then you make a left turn, but you're also almost coming back.
Yeah, the left turn was pretty sharp,
And it really wasn't flat. It was a V dip,
a big
almost.
dip.
I mean, it was a huge dip.
Yep.
And I didn't know.
So never having had driven anything big and long like that, and this sharp turn on a big dip. So he's going, all of a sudden,
And it just stopped.
and we look at each other and I'm like, what's wrong? Something wrong with the truck? And he's like,
It won't go.
no, it won't go. He couldn't go forward. He couldn't go backwards. So I get out and I look underneath, and the back of our trailer, there are these skid bars. They were dug into the asphalt this deep. And he couldn't go forward and he couldn't go backwards.
The tires of the fifth wheel were like that far off of the road.
We were scared to death. It's like, oh my God. And we're stuck in the middle of the road, blocking traffic. If it wasn't a busy road, thank goodness, but blocking traffic, nobody could get by us because the truck was up partway on our street, and the trailer was stuck out in the middle of the road. So it's like, oh my God, he couldn't go forward, couldn't go backwards. Luckily, our landlady's significant other, he is a
Smart guy, and he helped us out.
Yeah. He's one of those guys, it's like Terry will know what to do. So sure enough, he comes down there and he tells Tom.
He's like, this is a diesel. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, gun it. I'm like, okay. And he says, see the red line? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, ignore that. Just gun it. It'll move. He said, drop it down into granny gear, down in one.
Did you put it in four-wheel drive
Put it
too?
in all four-wheel drive. Put it in granny gear all the way down low. And gun it, and don't pay attention to redlining it. It'll move.
So he had to move it forward and backwards a couple of times, and finally...
And it did.
Oh my God.
Pulled it right out. And I did. I redlined it and then some.
Yeah, so that was, I mean...
Unbelievable.
Right off the bat. It's like we're just bringing it home and it gets stuck. And boy, those divots in the road were there for quite a long time.
So the second one.
So the second thing was we took the trailer out a couple times, you know, for practice. One time we went just up the road about 17 miles from home to stay at an RV park. And we were having the dangest time getting it unhitched. It's like, why won't, if you're pulling on the handle
From
but
the truck.
But it's like, why won't it come off? And we just, gosh,
Pull the pin,
yeah,
you loosen the handle,
and
and
it wouldn't come
move
off.
forward on the truck, and it just wouldn't unhitch. And we couldn't figure it out. And we couldn't figure it out.
I think it
and
happened
we couldn't
like
figure it out.
three times we took it out, and finally, I don't even know how we figured out what to do correctly. But, you know, part of it was not raising the trailer up a little bit off of it weighing down on the hitch. And we have a fifth wheel. So I think that was part of it. And now what we do too is when...
Well, the way you're supposed to do it's the way we do it now.
Well,
You
yeah,
take the
'cause-
pin, you open up the handle, take the pin, and block the handle so the handle's open.
Yeah, because it was latching back again when we were trying to pull it off. It was latching back again.
Took forever for us to figure that out.
Yeah, it seems like forever.
Hello, McFly?
was like-
Anybody home?
It's like we thought we were doing everything right, and it was not coming apart. It was getting frustrating. We even had some guy come and try and help us, and he didn't tell us he was some old guy. He didn't tell us the right thing. He just like pulled on the handle as Tom drove the truck, moved it.
Some old guy.
He was older than us, so.
Who are you married to?
So the third thing.
Some old guy.
So the third thing.
Here's the old
Yeah,
guys.
woohoo! And old
Here's
gals.
the old guys.
Old guys and old gals. So the third thing,
When we were new,
when we were new, that we did, and this was our very first time with it out, when we went to the 117 miles up the road. We didn't do this anymore after this, but
Yeah. One
the very
time.
first time.
you learn quickly.
So we're hooked up the water to the campground's water.
Fresh water.
Fresh water, and we were we were ignorant and thought you had to use the water pump.
So we
in
had the
order-
water pump on.
The water pump and the water hooked up.
So when you have your fresh water turned on, you turn your water pump on, what does it do? It runs continuously.
I'm
It
like,
does not
doesn't
stop.
sound right. That doesn't, and you know, also water pumps are noisy. And if you're not familiar with that, you're like, oh my God, that thing's going to break. It sounds terrible. What's wrong with it? Well, part of the problem was you don't do both. It's one or the other. So we found that out. We kind of researched. It was like, okay, that doesn't sound right. Let's research this. And it was like, oh, we're hooked up to water. We don't need the
We
water
don't need the
pump.
water pump.
So that was
Another item
the third thing.
when we
Yeah.
were new.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4, and this could have been extremely dangerous. It's not knowing how to set or use your trailer brake.
I didn't know what a
It's-
trailer brake was.
It's like, yeah, we knew that little device thing was there underneath the dash, and it's like, I guess that's the brake. We just figured as soon as we plugged it in, it worked.
It works. You hit the brake pedal, it stops, right?
Yeah, we wore out some truck brakes because we had no idea what we were doing.
They weren't even, it wasn't dialed properly. So,
Yeah, you know how there's 2 settings on it, and it was just...
and some people have the digital readout, so you know whether you're high or low or where you should be. This one doesn't. This one just has one light that goes from green to amber to bright red, and that's about it. And I didn't know what the colors were. I didn't think to read about it. I just figured, step on the brake pedal.
After a few times going down hills and like freaking out, like the truck's going like this, it's like, okay.
How'd it go?
That's how we went in the truck. Careful. You're going to spill that. So it's like, okay, we've got to figure this out. So
How'd it go again?
No. I'm getting a headache.
It really did do that.
It did that. So it was, we looked it up, our model and everything and how to do it. And so we adjusted it. We went to this big, wide open area to where we could go and stop and go and stop and learn how to dial it in.
How'd we
It was
go?
Like, yeah, You can just play the video back and see how it went.
When we were
But
new, we
when
didn't
were
know.
new, we didn't know. We don't, and that, like I said, could have been extremely dangerous. So if you're brand new, learn how to use the trailer brake. Have it set correctly.
Number 5.
Number 5 was leveling would take us forever.
And then
These are not the automatic levelers. We
it
just
took a long time, too.
took a long time to learn to figure it out.
Yes.
Yeah, we were all the way in Oklahoma.
Crazy. Because
So our first
the
year.
rig doesn't come with any type of auto leveling at all. You know, you use a measuring device and you try to measure it front to back and
A
left
level.
to right.
We have a big long level, and we use the back window. It's a nice long even area, and we set the level there, and it helps us know left to right.
Yeah.
So it would take
Port
us
to starboard. No.
forever. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
It would take us forever to get level. We had a mishmash of a bunch of different boards, thicknesses, widths, everything. We would stack them up, and as you try to drive up on them, they would all fall apart. And when we were in Oklahoma, the worst level site that we ever were on, we had boards stacked up, I swear, like this. I thought the trailer was going to fall over.
8 to 10 inches
It
of
was awful.
plywood and boards and 2x4
And
chunks.
I swear it took us an hour to get level. It was miserable.
Remember those days? We used to argue.
Oh, bad.
Oh.
Bad. It was bad.
She would get so angry at
I
me.
would get, no, not at you. I would get tired because it'd be like, and you would get tired because you were up and down off the blocks. Nope, we're still off. We need this much
Seriously.
more. No, we need this less. No, we need more over here. It was a mess. And finally I said, we're done with that. We have got to go buy the Legos. So y'all know what I mean, right? The squares with the 4 little pegs, just like Legos. And you can stack them up nice and...
They work
Oh,
magically.
such a difference. And you know, you can ramp them up and hook them all together, and
And I know a lot of y'all are going to say, well, why don't you just invest and get some levelers on that thing? No, thanks.
the less automatic we have, the better.
You know, the slides, I don't want anything else with motors.
No.
And we've gotten real good at leveling, number 1, because now when I'm backing into a site or backing up, I can actually use my mirrors, and I can tell if the trailer is level or not by the way the truck is sitting. And I'm pretty dang good at it at this point.
Yeah, so especially if we're boondocking and we're trying to find a decent level
Yeah.
spot, he can kind of tell, and then we'll, you know, move it over, forward, or whatever. And we use the level on the back, and we can tell if it needs, we have these rubber pads that they're actually patio squares. And we have those so we know if that's all we need or if we need those. And we have these little thin boards.
They're like 1/8-inch boards.
So we actually need new ones of those.
Yeah.
Those are getting pretty bad. But so we know if it's that or if we need, you know, the 3/4-inch plywood pieces that we have. So we can kind of tell, and we do have the Legos. There have been times when we've needed the Legos to get us even up higher on one side. But
It's a lot easier today
Oh,
than it
so
was
much easier.
when we were new.
when we were new. So those are just 5 of the things we had problems with when we were new. Things that we didn't know. A lot of things we did right because we had researched a lot. But I think that these things kind of come up, and they're not necessarily in your make sure you do, like the Progressive Industries surge protector. You know, we found out about that and installed that immediately. So, you know, we did that correctly.
We don't have one that goes on your pedestal. I bought one that's it hooks it into the trailer. It's the big one.
Right.
And
Well, because we had heard that a lot of people's got stolen off of their pedestal, so it was like, okay, we're not going to pay all that money for one of those.
I'd rather invest in the big one and just put it inside the rig, and that way it's locked up
It's
inside
locked
the
up
bay.
inside.
And it works perfect. We've never had an issue with it. We've had it 4 years, going on 5 years now, and it works perfectly.
Yep. The only little hiccup that we've had with it is when we try to hook up the generator.
We forget.
It was like, why isn't it working? Why isn't the power coming on or something? It was like, because the surge protector isn't communicating with the generator, so you got to turn it off. Turn the surge protector off.
Because the generator is a pure sine wave generator. Inverter.
Yeah. So we learned
An inverter generator. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So, like I said, one of the good things that we learned was about the surge protector, and then there's several other things that we learned and read about early on, even before we got the RV home. When we started researching about RVing and RVing full time, just stuff that we had learned from everybody else, their posts, their YouTube videos. RV Dreams was a great resource in the very beginning, because when you start reading their journal at the very beginning, they were newbies too at that point. And so a lot of it is relatable. Some of it may be a little bit outdated because they started so long ago, but a lot of it was so relatable to new RVers. And we got so much information and help from them from that, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to go to their rally last year. So, but those were our things when we were new. Let us know in the comments below things that you all may have done when you were new and didn't know better.
And maybe you're a newbie right now and you don't even have your rig yet. Research.
Yes, every little thing. Like
it helps.
Yeah, I mean, certain driving conditions, like we said, with the way we turned on the road, we learned after that we had to come to our road a different way.
Other way. At an angle.
At an angle when we came out, yep.
And then I never had a problem after that.
Nope, and that has helped us in other situations like that.
You just got to be hitting the head with a board one time and you learn.
Anyway, that's just our little chit chat tonight, our little wine and conversation. And we just wanted to share with you some of our little mishaps when we were new.
Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe button, click it, click the bell, get notified every time we put up a new video.
See ya!
See ya!
Life is short, make it sweet.
Well, then give me some more of yours.
You lush. No way, man. I ain't sharing.
I know, you're Lori.
That's right. Shirley.